is the purpose of your study? The purpose of my case study is to explore the STEM concepts that occur during child-centered outdoor play and nature hikes for 3 to 5-year-olds at a nature preschool in Central Texas. This will help my readers create the connections between the importance of outdoor exploratory play and the connections organically created within the STEM concepts. What is your goal? The goal is to explore the STEM concepts that occur during child-centered outdoor play and nature hikes. Could you please sing us a song about your methods? Of course, Fernando, I'd love to.
Show me your methods, methodology. Show me your methods, how will it be? Qualitative research, exploratory time, collecting the data that you will find. First observations, field notes are done. Close code the subjects, each and every one. Code the interactions, alone or a group. Code post-acceleration, the data will prove. Collect artifacts, pictures of learning, informal interviews, member checking. Upload the data into NVivo, triangulation, what will it show? Nodes, 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 make those codes, 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 what do they show?
Hi there. I'm going to show you real quick how I used NVivo to analyze the data from my research. I found that looking at the files and doing text searches was not as helpful with the data that I had for the analysis as I did for the literature review. The most helpful form of analysis were the matrices. I was able to compare codes in different ways to discover different findings. If you're wanting to compare data, you're going to be limited to different analyses if they are images. One way to help with that is to put your pictures in Word. If not, you can get something that is not helpful when searching for data, and I'll show you what I mean. So these are the science codes that were from the picture, so you really couldn't see it in this view. It wasn't until you got to the written stuff that you were able to actually see the codes. Now, there was an option where you could see the actual pictures by the tab on the side, but your tab for your pictures and your text were separate. So the grouping observed during outdoor time and nature hikes, this shows that grouping observed and how it relates to the location of the observations. I separated the two because there were more observations during nature hikes than outdoor time, probably due to the nature hikes being longer periods of time. I noticed that most observations during outdoor time were individuals exhibiting STEM concepts, where the nature hikes, that was more of group learning and adults were part of the observations. So this led me to create a concept map showing the interactions that take place on nature hikes versus playgrounds. So you can see that I have the nature hikes here, and the red were the adults, and then the children were in green. And so you had pairs and you had groups mostly, where on the playground, it was more individual children's learning and the teacher was more of an observer. So this shows that most observations were groups with adults followed by individuals. With groups including adults, the largest teaching is over science and mathematics. All grouping demonstrates all 4 of the subject areas, except for when one child is paired with an adult. In that case, there's math and science observed as their subjects. This shows that most observations during the nature hikes were mathematical in nature, and during outdoor times, technology was the main subject. This might be because teachers are more prone to teaching math and science than technology and engineering. Since outdoor time observations were mostly individual, this might be why technology was mostly observed, because children use loose parts to create tools to do something. Loose parts was a common among all the STEM concepts, as you can see here. Problem solving and technology were also linked. The loose parts concentration brings me to wondering what types of loose parts were being used. And so I looked at the codes, and this is another concept map. So if you were to click here, this would show all the codes for loose parts. And these were all the loose parts that were used in the observations. We have sticks, berries, ants, grass, rocks, plants, flowers, roly-polies, shells, sand, leaves, and that's it. Some pictures of examples. Here you can see a caterpillar, And the children were talking about the caterpillar, and then also they were constructing a home for the caterpillar from loose parts so that he could be safe to create his cocoon and turn into a moth. Here, the children were problem solving using the zone of proximal development. And we have the leader in the front, and he turned to the last child and says that couldn't get across and said, "You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. First, step on that green rock there and then jump on the dry land." Here you can see a teacher with a group of students and they're counting loose parts. This was an observation that covered all the codes. Children were working together to build a dam. The teacher would ask questions to help guide children to noticing and learning. Loose parts were collected, including rocks and sticks. The sizes of objects were discussed, which is your mathematics. And the children worked together to build a dam. And they even got to see the water change and start to fill a dry area that was upstream. For the discussion, some of the things that the findings brought me to were that children demonstrated STEM concepts while participating in child-centered nature play, and that nature aided to loose parts, including technology, engineering, and mathematics. Teachers guided learning through the zone of proximal development with the guidance of children's interests. So it wasn't the teacher directed. And then children also helped one another through the ZPD. The groupings were also with adults who are heavy in math and science. Individual groupings were more technology focused. Nature hikes mostly had math and less engineering. Outdoor time mostly had technology. Teachers interacted more with children during nature hikes than outdoor time. I was able to strengthen my project by using Zotero and NVivo. I have done this project in NVivo before, but running different matrices gave me new insights that I had overlooked whenever I did this the first time. I plan to use NVivo for my dissertation and analyzing the data in multiple ways to help strengthen my research.